Hello everybody, my name is Bob, and first thing I want to do in this video or in this recording is do a mea culpa, an admittance of guilt. Um, when I was young, and actually for a really goodly chunk of my life, I was part of the problem. By problem, I mean I will explain that later. But when I was teens and 20s and 30s, my idea of what life was about was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So, to me, anything that interfered with sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and whatever else I wanted, that was bad. That means that conventional morality was bad. That means that religion was bad. Social norms were bad. All those things were bad. Of course, that's I now know that that was an inverted scale of values. But for probably most of my life, I was functionally supporting a situation that led to the situation that we're in now. I was part of the problem, and so for future generations, I want to ask your forgiveness, and then I will attempt with whatever time that remains to me to try to help set that thing right. But what I'm talking about today is functionally for most of the second half of the 20th century, liberalism and conservatism weren't that different. Um, Conservatives, like neocons and libertarians, and functionally what they think about what America is about freedom. Freedom to do what you want. If you want to have a barbecue in the backyard and bang bitches and get drunk, that's yeah, with absolute no thought of responsibility for anything or your life, then that's what you should do. That's freedom. America is freedom. Well, no, freedom was conceived originally in what you say in revolutionary America. Freedom couldn't exist without moral norms, without social norms, and without religion, without God. Um, Freedom was simply the freedom to actualize virtue. Now, granted, there were people in all times who actually tended toward the more libertarian view of that, probably, and there were probably people in colonial America who were like, I don't want the British to be telling me they're taking my money and telling me I can't do X, you know. But originally, a free society, what I'm saying, can't exist without a virtuous populace. And what we don't have now is not a virtuous populace. We have people taking drugs, letting their kids take drugs. I've heard about a rash of people, even white suburban people, in relatively affluent condition, who are just like, hey, my kids do crystal meth. What of it? You know. So what classical liberalism and neoconservatism and libertarianism all lead us to eventually is what we have now. A population that does not value and does not place an emphasis on virtue and, yeah, I'm going to say the big G word, godliness. A society that doesn't place an emphasis on virtue and godliness will eventually require a huge state to centralize state control to take care of everybody because they can't take care of themselves. Because when society disintegrates and the family disintegrates and religion either disintegrates or turns into liberal talking points, when that happens, big government and basically communism, socialism, whatever you want to call it, is inevitable, and that's where we're at now. I was shocked I posted what I thought was a very reasonable post on the social network next door, which only basically goes to people in nearby areas, right? I posted what I thought was a rather reasoned response to the George Floyd situation, and people in a very white, very affluent neighborhood just went all over me, right? So it's not just in bad neighborhoods or with bad families that this is happening. This has infected everywhere. and it is destroying America. And there are a lot of powerful people who want it to destroy America as it has existed. The corporations, they want to be able to export their labor overseas just willy-nilly. They don't care about the traditional family is to a corporation is an obstacle, not a benefit. So there's a whole lot of really powerful institutions, organizations, corporations who want to see America fall. Who want to see America fall. And they're doing their damnedest, and they're winning. What you get when you do that, I mean, do you see what China is doing? I'm tempted to say communist China, but it's not communist anymore. It's something new, and that something new is coming to America, and we should not want it to come to America. And what the antidote to that is not neoconservatism, not libertarianism, but social conservatism. Basically saying, okay, we fucked up. As I said right in the beginning of the video, I fucked up. I fucked up. We are in fact a society, whatever we thought before, that actually needs social norms, strong families, strong communities, and a belief in God. And if we don't have those things, what we get is China. What America becomes is China. And there are a lot of very powerful corporations, media corporations, Hollywood, institutions, people in government who are totally okay with that. And you think about that for a second. I mean, I don't think that they formulate it this way in their minds, but essentially the corporate consensus and the media corporations and Hollywood and a lot of people in government now are totally okay with us becoming China, because what they're functionally doing is the very things that will lead us there. I mean, whether they are even consciously aware of it or not, that's irrelevant. What I'm talking about is what will lead us there. And we should view America turning to the Chinese model as the enemy right now. And so a society that emphasized personal liberty above all else, basically, when I was young, give me that sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Hallucinogenic drugs should be legal because I want to take them. All drugs should be legal. Legalize everything. If babies want to smoke crystal meth, have at it. That's what liberty in America was very often conceived of by people on left and right, and that's going to destroy us. What will save us is going back to the traditional values that we once had, the traditional values that made America great, and those values are, emphasis on family, emphasis on community, belief in God, keeping the Ten Commandments. Those are the values that will save us. And at this point, it's looking almost like that's a lost cause. But I'm not going to be the one who says we give up and fuck it. Because I was part of the problem. I played my small role in making this the way it is. And that's a very difficult thing to come to terms with. America is being destroyed, and I was once part of what was destroying it. That's a thing that's hard to own up to. But I do want to own up to it now because I'm a different person. Thanks be to God, He has come into my life and shown me what the truth is. And the truth is, if we don't have a society that is founded on family, community, God, and the morality of the Ten Commandments, if we don't have that, then China is inevitable. We cannot avoid it, because when social cohesion, social order breaks down, then governmental order must take its place. Otherwise, it'll just be anarchy. And And we see all sorts of things now that I think our ancestors would look at that and just go, what? You know, little boys deciding to be girls. What? What the fuck? You know? Like, what the fuck? No, the little boys don't decide to be little girls. They're good little boys. And that is a logical extension of our belief of whatever I want, freedom is I go out and get it. And nobody gets in my way. Nobody stands in my way. If I'm a boy who wants to be a girl, or if I want a boy who wants to be a pink giraffe, I am what I say I am. And that way of life is destroying us. It's destroying America. And nobody gets it. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm having to take a lot of breaks. One, because I cough a lot, and two, because the subject matter is difficult. But freedom is always freedom to something. You're going to put your freedom at the service of something, whether it's good or bad. If you put your freedom at the service of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, then you're not really free anymore. Or if you put it at the service of drugs or whatever else, you are going to lose your freedom to yourself. Freedom is meaningless unless it is freedom to do something good. People came to America to get the freedom to build their own lives, build their families. Not just to have 24 hours a day streaming porn. Perhaps in earlier times, I'm not saying that people are any more inherently were more inherently virtuous then, because they weren't. They just had fewer opportunities to fall off the path. Because human nature has been the same forever, or for as long as there have been humans. But freedom, as an abstraction, or just freedom as freedom, doesn't mean anything. It's always freedom to do something. If your freedom is freedom to smoke crack, and bang bitches without any kind of concern for what happens next, then you are using your freedom to destroy yourself, not to build anything. And so that's where we're at. And then, essentially, when you destroy those traditional values based on personal and family virtue, we have now is a new religion forming of basically glorifying victimhood and basically a morality of resentment and a morality of envy. Basically, these people have it better off than we, and somebody always will have it better off than we. And I'm resentful. I'm mad. And when we see people looting, they're not going in to get food or diapers for their kids. They're in there for those big screen TVs. They're smashing through those windows to get those big screen TVs, and or other like luxury items, because they are envious of people who are doing better than them. And the reason why they are envious is because they do not have any kind of traditional Ten Commandments morality. What's one of the Ten Commandments? Thou shalt not envy, or do not covet your brother's house or wife or possessions or anything that belongs to your neighbor, because you are supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. That's why that commandment is in there. Do not covet. Do not envy. And what we have now is basically a new society and a new religion arising from envy and many other things. If you want America to be a success, if you want America to even survive as we have understood it, in other words, to survive as not being China, if you want that, I have something very important to tell you, and that is, we are losing. We are losing this fight. Even though maybe our president is in the White House, we are still losing. We are losing the culture. And everyone needs to, I'm not saying be defeatist, everyone needs to start from that point. We are losing. We are losing America. And it's not just some, Bernie bros or leftist activists that are behind all this. You know, the corporations, the media corporations, the news corporations who mold opinion are against us. They are against America. They want us to become Red China, basically, because that's what gives them more power. I mean, there are a few, dissenters in the corporate side. Elon Musk appears sometimes to, be, taking the pill. But on the whole, every weapon of modern society practically is arrayed against us. The news media are arrayed against us. The corporations on the whole are all arrayed against us. And let's take a second to think about why it is that the corporations would want to see America as it has traditionally been destroyed. I mean, back when I was growing up, it was always assumed that corporations were behind the Republicans because Republicans want less taxes, right? Well, no corporations pay taxes anymore. That stick is no longer over their heads. And so what do they want? They want workers that'll work cheap, that have no family ties, who have no religious obligations, who are completely, as completely as possible, their property. Their property. So they're all behind this. They are all behind this progressive agenda. That's why you see, fat cats with all kinds of money are all suddenly getting behind leftism now. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem to make sense. Well, it does make sense when you understand it correctly. They're not planning to give away their money. They're planning to get more power. That's what they want. The fat cats in China don't want to give away their money. What they want is more social control, their control, state control, because they run the state, they own the state, and traditional Republican politicians, or let's say late 20th century Republican politicians and Democrats alike were essentially both owned by this collective of powerful corporations. And they were both in the neocon form and libertarianism and liberalism were all essentially behind the same program, and that program will destroy America. It seems like, okay, think about it. Why are all these really rich people, Hollywood actors, big media corporations, why are they behind this agenda? And it's not because they want to give away their money. It's because they want more control. They want control. I mean, and again, it doesn't matter if they're consciously thinking, well, I want to take over the world, so this is what I need to do. It doesn't matter whether it's conscious or unconscious. What they want is control. And without a virtuous populace, a big state becomes inevitable. So what I'm telling you is the cause is not I'm not saying the cause is lost. I'm saying the cause is almost lost. We are at the 11th hour. If you want to save America, then we all need to get on with the program right away. And the program is not neoconservatism, and it's not, libertarianism. It's social conservatism. Without social conservatism, we cannot save America. And if Trump gets defeated in 2020, or if the Republicans, Republicans may lose in the next election after that, things are gonna fall into their hands very quickly, very quickly. Well, we need to be prepared for that. We need to get behind that. And the conservatives who say, well, my conservatism is a conservatism of, freedom is what I want. Freedom is what I want. If that's what your plan is, then you are playing into their hands. You are helping the enemy, and we need to get our shit together. We need to Get behind a platform, and that platform is not more of just what I want. It is rebuilding society, rebuilding the family, rebuilding the community, belief in God, Ten Commandments morality. And if we don't get behind this, people who somewhat have their shit together, people who have at least taken half the red pill, if we all don't get together behind that platform, we are fucked. We are fucked. America is fucked. America is gone if we don't do that. America is gone. Say goodbye to the red, white, and blue motherfuckers. I'm sorry to use harsh language, but this is where we're at. Functionally, without a return to what traditionally made America great, made America strong, made America envied and feared in the world, unless we return to that, we are fucked. I mean, even if these protests end and people are no longer rooting and burning in the streets, our problem is still the same. The looting and burning is a symptom. It's not the cause. The cause is a fundamentally a belief in the slavery of human beings to themselves and the slavery of human beings to corporations. And those two things are connected. Slavery of humans to themselves makes it easier for them to be enslaved to the corporations. And the alternative to that is, to be enslaved to the good, to be enslaved to virtue, to be enslaved to God. Functionally, your freedom is insignificant unless it is freedom used for something. The libertarianism of much of what has been conservative thought is functionally almost as much of our enemy as progressivism, because they both come from the same roots. With the same root that libertarianism and progressivism comes from is I am anything that gets in the way of what I want is bad. If I want to if I'm a boy who wants to be a girl, or if I'm a boy who wants to have sex with guys, and anything that gets in my way is evil. And that is the enemy, and people on both sides, left and right, have been contributing to it. And so we are at the 11th hour. We are in that Paul Revere moment, and if we don't get our shit together, we're gonna lose it. We're gonna lose America. And just to sort of get our game plan together. What happens if we do lose America? What happens to us, social conservatives? Well, we need to figure out how we're going to hunker down and continue to resist a culture that hates us. And that's also something that we have to have a plan B. We have to have the mindset of we want to win. We need to beat these commie motherfuckers back into the holes they came from. But if that doesn't work, we need a plan B. So I would recommend, I guess it's a cautious recommendation of Dreyer's The Benedict option. But we need to have a plan B. How do we continue to uphold our beliefs in a society that is implacably hostile to us? And that implacable hostility. You may think, they're going to hate me because I'm a white guy. No, they're not. They're going to hate you because you're conservative. Black conservatives are gonna they may be able to adjust better, but they're going to hate you because you're conservative. They're going to hate you because you have traditional beliefs. They're going to hate you because you love God. They're going to hate you, and so you need to. While you're planning on saying, while you're planning on a plan of, we need to crush these commies back where they came from. We need to have a red pill revolution in America, and I'm all for that. I'm 5,000% for that. I am 50,000% for that. I am not giving up. But we also need to be thinking about Plan B. How do we survive the coming fall of America? How do we survive in a society that hates us? So we need to be thinking about all of those things. So I guess to wrap up, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's not going to matter about me because I'm an old man anyway. I'm gonna die in 10 years or so, and so I may well escape the worst of it, but I mean I have enough sense of morality and enough of a sense of culpability for my own past mistakes, and just basically enough God in my heart that I don't want this to be the future for America. Even if I'm not, if I'm not here, there are plenty of people who would say, "Hey, you're not going to be here. You're not going to be here for the worst of it. What do you care? Fuck it." No, I do care. I do care what happens to America. So we need to be planning for all options, all eventualities. That means we need to be planning how we're going to come together, get our shit together as conservatives, how we're going to fight this, but also what happens if we lose. Because if we lose, which right now it looks like the odds are that we will, we're going to have to find a way to continue to live and continue to be faithful to our principles and faithful to God in a world that hates us. We're going to be the new Jews. In Nazi, well, it may not be quite as bad as the Jews in Nazi Germany because they just killed them. But if we are not killed, then we'll at least be, and really already are, social pariahs. We're going to be lepers in our own society, and we need to find ways to prepare for that day. Not that I think we should give up and just say, okay, well that's just going to happen, and this is what we need to do. But we need to have that plan B. And what's a big part of that plan B? Well, one is conservatives networking with other conservatives. So if a conservative owns a business, they can hire other conservatives to fill those jobs because those conservatives aren't going to be able to find jobs in a lot of other places. They're going to be banned from other jobs because their social score is not high enough. Because they've thought the wrong thing and because they've said the wrong things. Also, what I'm doing, I'm in the middle of a move to rural East Texas, so that I can do a lot of things for myself. I can grow my own food. I can get my own water. I've got a bunch of solar panels and batteries in the closet that I'm going to move over there to install, so that I have my own power. We have to plan for both of these possibilities, because right now, I mean, there's a certain point of view that says you shouldn't measure the odds. If you're doing the right thing, you don't measure the odds. Just do it. And I believe with that. But we also need to be prudent. We also need to be prepared for a world in which we are the pariahs. We are the lepers. So I don't know if there are even a lot of conservatives who are subscribed to my channel. I think they're actually probably mostly liberals. But if there are any, we need to get our act together and get this shit done quick, or else prepare for social pariahhood. Prepare for being the persecuted minority. And that's not a race thing. There are plenty of whites who are totally behind the progressive platform, and they'll do okay. I mean, if going to hell in a handbasket is okay, I mean, if rotting their souls is okay, but I mean, materially speaking, they'll be just fine. People of whatever color, whatever race, who are going to suffer are social conservatives, and there'll be a lot of people who are going to say, well, look, I don't want to fight the whole world here. I don't want to fight the whole world. I don't. Let me just sign whatever social justice statement they want me to sign, and we'll just move on from there. Because people are weak. People are weak. So, but if you are a true conservative and you don't want to see America die, and now is the 11th hour. Now is that Paul Revere moment. Okay. All right, y'all take care. Be safe. Bye bye.